Action, reaction, cause and effect. At times it can feel that you are helpless to change the atrocities that are taking place on a daily basis. But is that true? As those images come closer to home by crossing continents from one city to another, those feelings can begin to change. A fear may begin to rise where there was none before, because it is no longer over there, it is here on our doorstep. So how did it come to this? A world at war. Everything is energy, and the most powerful tool that humans have is consciousness. Every human being has two hemispheres to their brain, i.e. the logical left and the intuitive right hemispheres. The logical hemisphere processes the physical aspects of life and is analytical, selective, evidence-based, structured, time-related, the knowing and doing. Whilst the intuitive right hemisphere has the qualities of feeling, observing, inclusive, openness, holistic, timeless, and being. The left and right hemispheres can and do complement each other when correctly applied. However, the greater majority of humans today are experiencing life chiefly through logical reasoning, the right or wrong, good or bad attitudes, all of which create judgment. How does energy flow? Consciousness, thoughts, feelings. In the physical world, we know that energy is present by its effect upon us on both physical and non-physical aspects. For example, I would not be able to kick a ball without consciously thinking about it. But how that force is applied is individualistic, in accordance to the intention behind it. All physical forms are inert, i.e. are unable to move by themselves. If you consider that every thought that we have is consciousness in motion, every act taken by individuals is the force of consciousness moving through time and space that holds an intention, which is usually followed by some form of action. This is known as the second law of motion, which is true for both the positive and the negative. The law of motion states that every action taken is accompanied by an equal opposite reaction. This is called the third law of motion, the law of energy. Every thought and action taken will follow the law of motion and will move in the intended direction, which is felt globally. This is what the butterfly effect is. Everything is connected. Every negative or positive thought travels through space in this manner, and will reach the exact point that it is being focused upon. For example, if I were to consciously send a loving thought to another person who lives on the other side of the world, that thought would instantly reach that person. That person may feel that I am connecting to them and may even intuitively follow up by sending me a message or calling me. This again is the second law of motion in action. The law of inertia states that inert matter has no power to move by itself, and that every action taken has an equal reaction. The conscious choices and actions taken by leaders of nations to physically bomb others follows the third law of motion. Therefore, the reaction of terrorists to bomb cities around the world is the third law of motion in action. I believe that if this law was truly understood by politicians and lawmakers, certain choices would change in relation to war making. A key point to keep in mind here is, what is the intent behind everything that you do? It follows that consciousness creates the world that we live in, and that every individual thought impacts something or someone somewhere on the planet. Bombing another city for fear that they will bomb us is a classical symptom of falling into the trap that the ego wants humans to do. For as long as fear controls in this manner, peace will not ensue. Individually and collectively speaking, the world's consciousness is shifting from the dark ages of control into an awakened light state of awareness, where heart consciousness is being expressed on an increasing scale. How can lasting peace be accomplished globally? It is not up to God to save the world, because what is taking place on earth is not a God issue, it's human. For lasting peace to take place on earth will require a strong positive shift of consciousness, where the wisdom to see the bigger picture and the madness of war becomes the reality for the greater majority of people. This will then be followed by a willingness to do things in accordance to our inherent natural quality to love and respect one another. Some of the qualities of that shift in consciousness is to realize that we are all brothers and sisters, that every thought is a peaceful thought, that every act is a peaceful act, that we are equal in all that we do, that what I send out to you, I will equally receive. If these qualities were consciously applied by all peoples at exactly the same time, we would instantly change the consciousness on earth. Peace, not war, would be the abundant energy. May all humans on earth follow their hearts in all that they do. May wisdom be sought to find lasting peace on earth. may we clear our consciousness from judgment to acceptance. May our acceptance give birth to sharing from the heart. Love, light, peace and joy to all people on earth. Thank you for watching and listening. Love and light, Ralph.